looks like the Department of Justice and City of Albuquerque said they're making progress on a deal to make some reforms to the Albuquerque Police Department. Want to ask Mayor R.J. Berry about that this morning. Good morning, Mayor. It's good to see you. I'm well, thanks. And yourself?
Good.
Okay, I want to talk about what you were at last night, this Teen Innovate deal and invention stuff for kids in a minute. But first, any update on the, I guess, the reform process with APD and DOJ?
It's going well. We have teams of professionals in the room from both the Department of Justice and the City of Albuquerque. We have experts in public safety. We're crafting solutions from a training and a policy and a procedure standpoint. And we're doing it in a way, in my opinion, at this point, that is going to be good for the officers and the department itself, in that it'll be understandable, they'll know what needs to be done, it will be definable and measurable, and it will be good for the community because it will bring some of the additional reforms that we need to bring in. On top of that, we're setting up our community policing councils where we have officers in the room with people that they serve, having candid conversations. We're starting this month a much broader public discussion just to make sure that we have the entire community's input on what they want from a community policing relationship.
Did you read the New York Times, not an editorial, but it's an article from someone who taught at the university who used to live here and wasn't too kind to the city of Albuquerque? Did you read that? It made some news. It was in last Sunday's paper.
Yeah, I was camping I was on our family vacation camping the day that it came out, or I was out of town. I got a chance to read it after the fact, and here's the deal. This individual lived in our community, didn't have a very good experience here, has moved on to another community. I didn't see a lot of evidence of that person, volunteering for our homelessness initiatives or anything else in our community. So maybe it's best that the individual and the city aren't together anymore. We'll just continue moving forward. We wish that individual well in their future, but it was a kind of a shot on the way out of town kind of a thing, and it is. Yeah. I just don't spend a lot of time as a mayor wrapping myself around my axle about that.
Sure.
We just want to make sure that these initiatives that we have in place are moving forward. We have a great city as the city of Albuquerque. We've got officers that go out every day, risk their lives and protect the public. We've had some high profile incidents that some have been horrific. We have big city issues and challenges just like every other big city and mayors that I talk to. We're tackling them head on, and we'll just keep moving. So we wish that individual well in their future, but I don't spend a whole lot of time.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah,
all right, let's talk about what is going right now. There's the Living Cities grant. Albuquerque could get up to $100 grand. I think we're a finalist with 4 or 5 other cities.
Yes.
What's it going to take for us to win this, and what could that money be used for?
Well, already kudos to our community, because we had way more people in our community go on and vote for Albuquerque than any other community, and that includes like Louisville is one of the communities. New Orleans, I think, was one of the communities.
San Jose was up there.
San Jose, absolutely. So the point is, I think we have a great shot at that $100,000. The bigger picture is I think we're going to be able to bring millions of dollars into Albuquerque through the Living Cities Initiative, through the Kauffman Foundation, through the Casey Foundation, through the Kellogg Foundation, and a lot of other people that I'm working with as a mayor to try to change the trajectory for opportunities in the city of Albuquerque. And it can be anything from our youth to seniors to downtown revitalization. And we are really on the map as a place that is being innovative. And you don't hear a lot about it sometimes, but the national people look at Albuquerque and they say there's a lot of interesting things going on. We're innovators here. We have challenges, but we're tackling them, as I said earlier. And I think we have some, I think we'll see some really good resources come through.
Without doubt.
And we'll put them to good use.
Yes, if you're being compared to cities such as San Jose, when it comes to innovation, you're in a really good place to begin with. You talked about with youth. You were at this event last night. Liz just showed us a little bit of it. There's a young man there. I think he was celebrating, his 12th birthday?
Gabriel, yeah.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
He's celebrating his 12th birthday, and this is a place for inventors who are kids.
He's 12 years old, and he started an invention lab, which is basically a maker space. And this is what we're bringing downtown. C&M with their stimulus center, we're bringing the maker movement to Albuquerque. What does that mean? If you have an idea for the next best mousetrap, we're going to give you a place to come down and develop that in the city of Albuquerque. We're going to democratize the process of innovation here, like other cities have done, but I think we're really going to be on the forefront of it. So Gabriel is doing this with a group of 12-year-olds, and they were awesome, and their parents were there, and their grandparents, and people are engaged, and we're just trying to spark this entrepreneurship movement here. And I can tell you, just in the first couple of months that we've started, it is way ahead of where I thought it would be.
No kidding. Okay, because this is part of the deal with you and UNM and the old church on Broadway.
Oh, and it's much broader than that.
Yeah,
I've gone out as the mayor and I've asked Microsoft to come in. So earlier this week we had DigiCamp for girls, 7th and 8th graders. Today we start DigiCamp for young men, 7th and 8th grade. We had 1 million cups from the Kauffman Foundation yesterday. First one in our city. We're the 50th city to do that, where entrepreneurs get together and talk. We've got ABQID, we've got the University of New Mexico's Innovate ABQ, we've got the larger innovation district, we've got the rail yards, there's a lot going on. And I can tell you, as a person who actually made a living here as an entrepreneur, who borrowed a couple $1,000s, took my college degree and a few bucks and started a business, worked with my wife, grew it to a 5-state region, you can be a very successful entrepreneur in Albuquerque. And we just want to share that with people and really get that moving, because we have to diversify our local economy, and one of the best ways to do that is through the private sector and through entrepreneurship.
Right, there's a report out, I think it was in Forbes magazine, talking about Albuquerque, New Mexico really struggling to get out of the recession, maybe struggling more than other cities and other states. How important is the private sector and private jobs, particularly when we lose some federal government jobs at the labs?
It's vital. We have, for many, many decades here, relied on our robust public sector. We want to continue to do that. We want to continue to really bolster Sandia National Laboratories, Air Force Research Laboratories, Kirtland Air Force Base, Cannon Air Force Base in Clovis, Alamogordo with Holloman Air Force Base. But we have to diversify our economy so that we don't get bogged down in these federal budget cuts. And that's what's happened. And it takes a long time to turn the ship, if you will. Yeah. But we're going to do it through the private sector and entrepreneurship. And there are people that I know in this community that are absolutely hitting it over the fence from the private sector standpoint. And that's what we need to also concentrate on is, yeah, we've had a difficult time in the recession. Most mayors that I know have, quite frankly. There's an article on the front page of the cover of The Economist magazine a couple of weeks ago, was a guy riding a turtle talking about the U.S. economy. We're still 7 million jobs behind where we started the recession. So it's not just an Albuquerque thing, but look, we can concentrate on our Main Street here, and that's what I'm doing as the mayor. And we're going to do it through bolstering that private sector. And we start with the kids, but we also move it up through the adults. I met with a group of immigrants the other day. The immigrant population is incredibly entrepreneurial. We have all these parts and pieces. We've got scientists, we've got artists, we've got capitalists, we've got entrepreneurs. We've got the energy. It's just a matter of putting the pieces together, and I have a lot of confidence it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, and that's what y'all are doing right now.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you for the update on how things are going. We'll see you in another month. Mayor R.J. Berry. Find out more about what he's doing at CASA.com. Click on the blog and stick around. We'll have a quick